Oh, right, guys. So today we're gonna be reacting to Andrew confront girl coping hard about their job. Let's jump in.
Statistics you're saying, like, you're not actually like, first of all, this is a different one, but like sex work, there's girls who give $5 sex on the street. Okay, yeah, I bet that the STD rate higher with that. There's girls who do tit pics on there's no correlation. Sex work is so broad, and so you saying like I don't know, like the STD rate is higher with girls who do hands. We all get tested. We all get tested. We don't shoot with anyone who doesn't get tested.
Would you like for me to read off the stats of how much higher it is with people who engage in any type of sexuality on camera, be it fans with BG or non-BG content, or with just regular prostitution, or with just regular porn? It is significantly higher than the society.
Then it was like, then how long ago? Then it was how long ago before there was all this database to put into statistics?
What do you mean? Well, we've been keeping track of things like STDs for a long, long time.
Of course.
We know what these.
I'm not saying that we haven't.
Wait, hang on. We know what these rates were pre-legalization of what we would consider degeneracy, or when they began to rule that porn was protected under the First Amendment.
Look at her. Yo, that's so disrespectful. Look at that. So disrespectful. Right at the beginning. Look at that. Andrew's talking. She's just going behind the lady here in the back and starts smoking, and we're laughing on top of that. Look at that.
This very idea that you have that we just don't know is absurd. We do know. We do know. We know exactly how low they were, and they were a lot lower. There's no doubt about it.
Well, can't you just say that that would just be the general promiscuity of society? Because I doubt that when somebody goes to a testing clinic and they say, "Oh, you have this," they're like, "Oh, I'm an OnlyFans creator." Like, they don't.
Yeah, by saying this, John Villiquet, you're gonna trigger demons, man. Jesus Christ, the living word of the Father's Lord, God, creator of the heavens and the earth, repent and perish. These people are gonna start jumping in the podcast, but bro, you don't say anything about Jesus. These people are gonna start jumping, start crawling, because they have demons all over the place, man. There's a lot of preachers, right? Videos out there, man. They go crazy when people start preaching. There's demons that start manifesting, right? I never believed in that stuff when I was younger. But the older you get, right, the older you start really taking spirituality very serious. And then you sit down and start watching stuff like that, and then you figure out, oh, we're missing spirituality. We're missing Christianity. If that's missing, something else is going to take over. Who do you think is going to take over? Satan. That's my opinion, right? That's my opinion. Well, look at this. This is not godly behavior, guys. Nothing in this panel has godly behaviors.
Ask you that.
Yeah. No. Actually, they do ask you that. There's especially
certain,
if you go into free.
Yeah.
Especially.
I mean, there's certain, but there's not.
Hang on. I'm going to tell you, they do indeed ask you that. Yes.
You're like, by the way, boxing her off. Can you give her space?
All you need to do is take X amount of a sampling from an industry and test it to get a really good idea of how prevalent it is in that industry in comparison to the general population.
Okay, but the general population doesn't get tested nearly as much as fans and sex and
people. Stop. Everybody stop. Hold on.
Oh, he's saying like, you better shut the hell up. Well, probably Brian's very mad, bro. Everybody shut that. Brian's furious. So he probably, there you go. Hey, I told you. Look at her. She like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll let you respond. I promise.
Well, the general public doesn't get tested nearly as much as we do, so the numbers are going to be different.
So I'll tell you what. Why don't you go ahead and make your argument, and then when you're done, give me like the high sign or the signal, and then I'll make the argument.
I just did.
Okay, we'll do it again so I can hear it this time. Go ahead.
This.
No, hold on.
This is just kind
No. She's just jumping in. She hasn't talked through an entire podcast. Andrew's telling the girl here to just give her an argument, because clearly she's just being defensive, right? She just want to be combative. Andrew's telling the girl here to just give her argument, because clearly she's just being defensive, right? She just want to be combative. She just want to be combative. Andrew's telling the girl here to just give her argument, because clearly she's just being defensive, right? She just want to be combative. Now she's entering to just make sure. I'm sorry. She's entering the conversation to make sure she can moderate the waters. There's a little bit of the sisterhood coming in, huh?
Kind of something that.
Wait, hang on. Can
There you go,
before you
see?
jump in, can I just finish with her? I'm almost done. We're almost done, I think.
Of course.
Can you just repeat what you just said so that I understand what you just said?
The general population doesn't get tested nearly as much as people in the industry do. Before I got into the industry, I didn't get tested at all, and same with all my friends who aren't in it. And that is just a fact. But like, so yeah, I mean, numbers might show higher because we're the ones getting tested.
Ugh.
Yeah, that would be called a sampling bias. And so inside of a study, you take a sampling bias and you do what's called a compensation for a sampling bias. That's literally it's called a control. That's how you do a controlled study. So if you have a sampling bias where one particular demographic of a population is tested more heavily than another, you would create an offset for the purpose of that study. That's literally how that's done. So that what you're talking about there is easily accounted for.
Okay.
I actually have some thoughts on the whole STD thing. So I think it was your position. You said that the STD rates are lower among sex workers. What's your position?
I didn't state that there were any, I wasn't quoting any statistics. I just said that I feel that it can be safer because people are more conscientious about testing and using protection and having those conversations that many people would think is uncomfortable in the heat of the moment. You got to talk about all that stuff before you start filming.
Yeah, so a couple things, and then I'll know what your position is. Your position that the STD rate is lower among...
It's lower
No,
there.
I literally actually don't know the rates. I'm just saying that, like, I don't know. I know that before I got in the industry versus now, I get tested.
Well, so
and I
here's
didn't used
kind
to.
of the, I guess, the line of the
Well, just
conversation.
as of 2011, just to tell you, the studies found that gonorrhea rates alone were 64 times higher than the general
Damn,
population,
wow.
and 18 times higher than Los Angeles County.
she's not liking
which
it.
is
Look at that.
considered one of the most promiscuous in the world.
Look at that. Look. Wow, she's Ooh, guys, this is. Look at that. Wow, so disrespectful right now to the conversation.
Residents 18 to 29, so 18 times higher than the most promiscuous county they could find, and 64 times higher than the general population. So yeah, I would say they're higher. They're a lot higher.
Yeah, but that statistic is 2011. That was 14 years ago.
Yeah. But do you want to see what it's like in modern times? Even it's not any better.
Yes,
I mean, I would like to know, just education
Do you
for
have
myself.
a study from 2023?
I have no problem saying I'm wrong.
Well, it's not going to be from 2023 likely, but probably 2021, 2022. You wouldn't see a huge
Why
fluctuation in a
2023
couple of years.
specifically?
Usually, like when I look up things, like the latest one will be 2023, 2024. I'm not disagreeing with that either.
She's not trying to defend him, guys. Look at her. She's trying to defend him. Hey, see, I'm part of the group. I am part of the group, guys. I'm not gonna judge you, so don't judge me. See, I'm trying to defend you guys because I'm a smart person, I guess.
Speak on
The other thing? No, not yet.
not the
Yeah,
no
so I'll
of
have
an
to-
STD of STDs.
Yeah, hold on just a sec. So I guess the confusion here is that I believe Andrew cited, well, one of the, I guess, downfalls of the sex work industry is the high
They don't give a damn
incidence
about
rate of
that, guys.
STDs. Both of you kind of argued that, well, this really isn't the case, although it is. There's studies to back this up. And then further, I mean, you guys mentioned testing. You guys are both doing OnlyFans. Do you shoot in the traditional industry, correct?
No,
You don't?
no.
You've never?
I don't traditional industry. I don't shoot mainstream.
Mainstream.
I don't shoot mainstream.
You only do
I
OnlyFans?
only do fans.
Same with me.
I mean,
No,
We did
yeah,
do research on-
they're doing it with such confidence because they think that's a better outcome. That's way better outcome. No, I'm not part of the industry, so that stat doesn't account on my favor. No. I do OF. I do OF. Therefore, that stat doesn't apply to me. That's what they're trying to say right now. These two, that's what they're trying to say. This is ridiculous.
the panelists beforehand.
You can look it up. I've never done any mainstream, and I don't know who you were seeing, but it wasn't me. I promise.
Okay, but you've done collaborations with other people and it's been distributed on
It's
their platforms?
Only on OnlyFans.
On your OnlyFans or other
My
people's?
OnlyFans and other people's OnlyFans, but never mainstream. And you can't find any of my videos on like Pornhub.
Okay. But you do shoot scenes with men, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And perhaps you guys can inform me on this. Is there, does not compel you to get tested, correct?
No, but we are just.
But you guys do it.
We just do it,
yeah,
of course. I wouldn't shoot with anybody who doesn't.
Have you guys ever not
I've never
done
not.
testing before shooting?
I've never not in my
No.
life.
And we also use
Yeah.
protection in addition to testing.
Really?
I don't, but.
I mean, a lot of.
But if
porn actors
if
don't,
somebody
but-
shows me a clean test within X amount of days, and I show
Yeah.
them a clean test in X amount of days, we're good to shoot.
And so these tests, though, they're not full panel tests.
They're full panel tests.
No, they're not. Do they test for herpes and HPV?
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't. They don't test for herpes typically.
The ones that I do test for it.
Really?
Yeah.
Where do you go? have to
I
ask
don't know
for
what you're
it, but they
talking
can and
about.
do
I don't
test
know
for
what you're talking
herpes.
about.
Well, my understanding, when we've had plenty of OnlyFans girls and people in the traditional industry, they typically are not testing for herpes. Even in the general population, if you go to like a doctor and you ask for an STD test, they're not testing you for herpes. Like, you need to specifically ask for this. It's a bit more complicated of a thing to do.
Oh, interesting here. You saw that body language? Let's go back to this. Look at this. She said that and she's feeling kind of uncomfortable. Look at this.
Testing you for herpes. Like, you need to specifically ask for this. It's a bit more complicated.
Yeah. You see that? Brian says something that she didn't like. Well, she felt uncomfortable. So she probably wants to say something that she doesn't want to say. You see what I'm saying? Because it will say too much.
Thing to do. So,
Totally is, and we still
I mean, if
do
you
it.
want, next time you get up, like, you can show me your most recent STD test. I'd be curious to see if it includes herpes. But
Totally do it.
sure, it could be the case. You got a full panel STD test. My understanding, though, we've had a lot of people in the traditional industry, and this carries on into the trans industry because there's a bit of crossover there. Herpes is pretty prevalent in the traditional industry. In fact, they don't really
Herpes
test for
is
it.
prevalent in the entire world. It's
Oh,
5%,
my
or
God.
like, what is it? 1 in 5 people have herpes. And it actually only tests positive, like, not only, but like, it's very rare that it tests positive if you don't have an active outbreak.
Do you test positive for herpes?
Never tested positive for herpes.
Oh, okay.
I've never had an
So
outbreak.
1 to
also,
5.
So.
Yo, 1 to 5 is high,
Well, there's-
guys. 1 to 5 is very high. That's meaning that 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10, right? 4 out of 20. And so on and so forth. That's way. I'm sorry, guys. That's way. 6 out of 30. I mean, that's way high. That's way too high. I don't think you understand these numbers. I don't. Even hey guys, even 1 over 100. 1 over 100, way too high. Way too high. Even 1 over 1,000 is too high.
Doesn't that just mean you may have it, but you don't know?
That's how it's like with all of us.
Yeah.
But
So there's
also-
hold on. There's
Yeah, sure,
so,
but I mean, there'd be a risk assessment difference.
But also, you can only really contract herpes if somebody's having a breakout.
that's
That's
Well,
not true.
It's
Not
very,
really
it's
true.
and
very
they can also take
unlikely not to.
antivirals.
yeah.
as
So
well.
I mean, there's HSV1, there's HSV2, there's like oral herpes, genital herpes,
Yep.
this sort of thing. But people can be
Yeah, I had
like
no idea.
pre-symptomatic. So there might not even be like a ongoing outbreak, but it's the beginning of one, and it's like at a very small micro level, and you can still contract it. Also, condoms don't really
I
help
mean,
when it
but
comes to
this is
herpes.
also like with anyone you have sex with, to be
Sure.
honest. And so, yes,
Ah,
like, but
man,
I
wow.
like,
Sex workers have a higher partner count though than the general public.
I've had lower partner count since I've been in sex work, but yes, I know most sex workers might, but yeah. I don't know. I'm very careful now. I don't have sex with a random person if they don't show me a full panel test. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
right.
understand that.
Yeah, right.
That due to the nature of that industry, many people would want to take additional precautions. Like, I get it. I understand. It's like any job, right? If you were a welder, you would definitely want to wear welding gloves and a mask and this type of thing, because this was like an occupational hazard. But here's the thing. Even if you wear welding gloves and a welding mask and you're a welder, you still have a higher chance of getting a welding burn than somebody who doesn't weld. And that's the
agree.
whole point,
And
right?
that's what I agree. I
hang on.
agree.
So the whole point here is just to say that even if it were the case, even if it were, let's just grant it for the sake of argument, that sex workers had less STDs than the general population, which is not true, but let's just assume for a second it was. I have a surefire 100% way that you can avoid STDs. Can you think of what it could be?
Don't have sex.
Yeah, it's pretty simple, right?
Yeah, but we're all gonna
It's
have
complete
sex. So.
inarguable logic, isn't it?
Going over to you, you had maybe something on the STD thing and then something unrelated. Go ahead.
It was like a stupid thought.
It's not, it was basically trying to defend them. See, I believe that when they jump into trying to defend the sisterhood, they're not thinking straight, right? They're not thinking about these conversation from a logical standpoint. They're just acting irrational, right? Because remember, this is their mechanism of defense. Think about how females will protect themselves. The only way they can protect themselves is collectively, or having a husband, or a brother, or a father. So it makes sense why they will protect each other. It makes total sense, guys.
I guess when he mentioned the gonorrhea and everything, I actually agree that that in hookup culture that I think it could be encouraged to also not give I don't want to say the word head. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, you can say that.
I think it should be encouraged not to immediately give head the first time that you see someone, just because you again it could be gonorrhea, it could be a multitude of things, and
Okay.
usually people don't really care about that because it's just head, and then they'll use a condom after when they're doing it. But I just think
that
that
makes no sense.
in both
Yeah.
ways, sometimes
She
it
has
can be
a point.
avoided. I know maybe it's less fun, but
What was your?
Yeah, but you know what? She has a point, right? It doesn't make sense you putting a lollipop, a female putting a lollipop right away, right? Besides, putting a lollipop in her mouth and then putting a condom, going straight to the barrel, it makes no sense, right? So she has a point there. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I would love to hear you guys' opinions. I'll see you in the next one.